are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports War. And we are back. We got the full crew in the house. That is what it's all about. The Yankees, out of any team in the league, are the best equipped to handle a blow like this.
I think there is a higher power at play here. He's due law of averages. That dude is the ultimate scrub. It's trash. Yeah. Every person you have in there is fucking trash.
Next game, you're going to see a big performance. You can see it in the end of the game, and I'm just totally stoked and excited for this.
And we are back. Welcome to another edition of the Sports Port. And once again, it is the Barnes and Tony Show coming in hot off a long weekend. How you doing, sir?
Dude, I'm doing great, man. What a great weekend. Memorial Day. Worked hard. A lot of sports were on. I'm super pumped to be back here now talking with you, baby. Let's go.
I know.
Beautiful weekend, too.
Yeah, definitely a lot of energy. Perfect weekend. And I have to say, Tony, recent memory, I want to say maybe at least 5 years back, I don't think we've had a stretch weather-wise on Memorial Day. It's always questionable.
Always.
Oh, it's going to rain all weekend. And here we are.
Perfect.
It's been perfect for weeks.
I know. So sick, dude.
So you love that.
The weather.
It is so great to be back, and there's so much to talk about. So excited to interact with everybody. We already have some comments.
Oh, my God, yes. We got people itching to comment here. Before with a couple, he says, my predictions right off the bat, Heat Golden Knights are this year's champs. I guess we'll get into it, but, I think those are good, good picks.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Not bad.
Can you do a live reaction of Tatis breaking Rizzo's neck, dude?
It's not broken, prefer, but we'll talk about that in a sec.
And then Michael, woohoo, he says, Barnes, how hyped are you to be back?
We are back, Michael. Let's say that.
Go.
And I'm actually hyped, too, because
Brian Barnaby
in front of me, and I was really, hoping you were going to be around for this. We got a nice surprise here.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Just to kind of go over everything. So right here, Luis Severino, Michael, signed baseball. So that's
very
added
nice
to the collection.
Hell yeah.
We'll have to get one of those ball cases, and then we could put it up on a shelf here. This hat is the Somerset Patriots hat. So that's a Yankees AA affiliate. Harrison Bader signed this.
Let's go.
While he was rehabbing before he joined the Yankees. So we're gonna add that to the collection as well. We'll have to find a spot for that. And then lastly, and we're going to try to get this signed, but this right here is a Somerset Patriots Jason Dominguez jersey. So Dominguez, I believe he's 20 years old at this point. The Yankees, one of their top outfield prospects. So that's his replica t-shirt jersey. So some cool stuff. I'm really excited to add it to the collection. And I know Michael's hyped too.
Oh my God, he's so hyped. He says so sick. What? He wants to know where, he wants to know how. And he'll win that after the show.
Yeah, exactly. And then also, if you wouldn't mind chiming in, maybe some ideas too, in terms of, I'm thinking the Dominguez, once we get it signed, put it in the rafters, hung up somewhere, right?
Yeah, I like
agree with that.
Yeah, I'm down with that. It should be interesting to see where. We'll find a spot.
Yeah, we'll
we
find
can
a
move
spot
some
for that.
things, dude.
And then I would the hat and the ball in the case. I'm thinking on a shelf, definitely, right?
Yeah, that'd be sick. The ball in the case is gonna be dope, dude.
We could always add
right in that cube by your hat and everything, with the bobblehead.
We could rearrange some stuff.
Yeah,
so,
dude.
Love it. And I was saying too, love the colors, the logo with this hat.
So sick.
Yeah, so definitely pumped about that. Some more comments here.
Yes, Prefer says Bader got hurt last night signing the hat because for Barnes.
You know what? It is unfortunate. And as everything else you've mentioned before.
He's saying you're a jinx, I think, dude.
We'll get to it in a second. And especially that part. We'll get to
Michael says we'll move things down at Barnaby. And he says, good morning, guys. Exciting family news, too.
Yes. And I was going to get to that, Mom. Everybody jumping the gun.
I know, dude. I'm so excited.
But yeah, we did have some exciting news over the weekend. My sister Jennifer and Chokri are expecting a baby girl.
Woo!
I believe it's the end of November. Yes, end of November. I think it's the 28th is the due date. So we're so excited for that.
Michael's excited.
Great to see everybody over the weekend. And I was telling you, Tony, they did the reveal at Providence College.
Fitting.
It was nice to be there. That's where they took, their wedding photos the day of their wedding.
Very nice.
In Providence as well. So that was a great day. And Michael also saying, yes, baby girl, congrats.
Yeah, he says,
and
I'm November
30th. So good timing there.
Yeah, very good timing. That makes Michael very excited.
November, the month of legends, Tony.
Oh yeah, I guess so, dude.
Wow. All right. So much to unpack here. The first thing I just want to mention is, we did have over the weekend the Charles Schwab Challenge, which was very exciting.
Yes.
Definitely went a way that we weren't expecting. But in a 2-hole playoff,
I know it's a tough name.
Emiliano, I feel like
Yeah.
is how it's supposed to be pronounced. Grillo defeats Adam Schenk. They both shot 8 under in regulation. Then they went to the extra holes. They both parred 1, or actually technically the first playoff hole, which is 18, and then they went to 16, where Grillo had a birdie, which was good enough to win it. So an exciting tournament. Anytime you go to a playoff, and you look further down the list, Scotty Scheffler was 1 shot short of joining them in a 3-way playoff, as well as Harry Hall, which was very tough for most of this tournament. He's a lesser known guy. I actually hadn't heard of him before this tournament, but I know he is from the UK. I see by the sign next to his name. But he finishes tied for 3rd. But the whole thing is he was leading going into the final round, opened with a 62, which was 1 shot off the course record, shot 66 in round 2 before ballooning to 72 and 73 over the weekend. Further down the list, you had Ricky Fowler and Sam Burns tied for 6th, along with Michael Kim at 5 under par. Ricky Fowler qualifying for the Open Championship at Royal St. Liverpool. So that'll be, 2 majors from now, the last major of the season. So good to see Ricky back in the mix. Further down the list, Justin Rose at 3 under, tied for 12th. Further down the list, you had Smotherman, who, I think was in the lead when we first started tracking this tournament. He only ended up being 1 under. So it just shows how quick things can change. You get off to that hot start. And then you had some notables miss the cut. Tommy Fleetwood, Cam Davis, Matt Wallace, Eric Cole, Jordan Spieth, Danny Willett, Chris Kirk, JT Poston, as well as Zach Johnson, and then Michael Block, the story of last week, shot 81-74, plus 15, Tony, to miss the cut there. But he gets 1 week off, and then he's going to be in Canada, for the RBC Canadian Open. So Michael Block getting to continue these PGA tournaments.
That's nice. Where in Canada?
It's a RBC Canadian Open. I'm actually gonna just check this out.
Or...
Yeah, I feel like they've changed where it's held. But let's see. So it looks like it's at St. George's Golf and Country Club, which is in Ontario. And I just want to see how long it's actually been there. So looking at this, it actually has rotated, but last year it was at St. George's. It looks like it's going to be at St. George's again. The previous 2 editions of the RBC Canadian Open were actually held at Hamilton and Glen Abbey. So we've seen this move around to Royal Montreal as well. And Shaughnessy. So kind of cool, because I think it's the only event that's in Canada on the PGA Tour schedule. So, different country, different sight lines. Cool to see different courses.
Definitely.
So that's going to be in 2 weeks. This week, though, at Muirfield Village in Dublin, Ohio, we will have the Memorial Tournament, famously hosted by Jack Nicklaus. So that's always a fun event, a star-studded event. So I'd imagine, all the big names will be there for that one. Of course, we'll do a full preview tomorrow. So that's kind of the sequence of things here. You have, like I said, the Memorial this week, RBC Canadian the following week. And then we get the United States Open, Tony, at Los Angeles Country Club. So excited for that. The prime time West Coast golf. I've talked about that over the last couple of years. Really is the best. And I know, especially for tournaments, like the US Open, like the PGA, that will be the opportunity with Augusta, consistently hosting the Masters. And then, of course, across the pond with the British Open. But if there was a way where we could have West Coast, PGA and US Open every year, because I just think,
you like that?
It helps expand the viewership when the tournament's teeing off at 7 o'clock on a Thursday. I mean, how many people are watching versus how many people would watch if coverage started at 4 o'clock on Thursday instead of starting at 7 a.m.?
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
So at least we have that to look forward to. I'm excited. I haven't even really seen LA Country Club before, so it'll be great to see that.
Has there ever been a tournament there before?
Yeah,
But
and
like
I'm
a while
actually
ago?
gonna like look up the history of this because I'm actually curious myself. And it's like with these clubs, like when they have these tournaments, I think Harding Park was one. It's like I always don't understand. Like it's like they're they've been around a while. Like how does it take? I mean, I know there's so many courses, and I guess that's the answer. But how does it take so long to return to these places?
Yeah, true.
So let's see here. So they used to have the LA Open, which is now the Genesis at the LA Country Club. And the last tournament there was held in 1940, Tony.
Oh my gosh.
And it is the first men's major in the Los Angeles area in 28 years, in the area's first US Open in 75 years. How does that happen? LA, one of the most populated areas in the country, has some great golf courses. How does it take that long? I just don't know.
Is it like, so how do they do it? Do they just like put their name on a list and it's like when they come around to them, they get around to them in these types of tournaments?
You have your courses. Just thinking of an example here. That are part of the rotation. So you have like Bethpage Black, Torrey Pines, Pinehurst. Every 9 years or 10 years, they kind of stagger it like that. They host a tournament, and then recently, they've added things like Harding Park, like LA Country Club, and just out of curiosity, I always like looking at the future sites. Just taking a look at that. So obviously this year LA Country Club. Next year will be Pinehurst. There hasn't been one there since 2014, so that's been a while, and I think that's within like 2 hours of Jennifer and Chokri there, Pinehurst, North Carolina. Following year will be at Oakmont. Last time it was held there, 2016. Dustin Johnson won. Then we returned to Shinnecock 8 years after they had it in 2018, and I believe Brooks Koepka was the winner of that tournament. Pebble Beach, Gary Woodland won in 2019. That'll be 2027. And then 2028, Winged Foot Golf Club. It hosted it in 2020 when Bryson won, which was 14 years after it was last held in 2006 when Mickelson infamously double bogeyed 18 to not complete the career Grand Slam and win the US Open. So a lot to look forward to in the coming years, Tony. And I know I'm almost, because I was just making fun of these people on the radio who repeat stuff like this, but I really am so excited that I got you to the point where the majors excite you. They do.
They do. Yeah, no, for sure, dude. It's gonna be a big weekend coming up, dude, too, for golf.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And I just thought I know I asked you this and it changes by the minute. But now, we saw obviously Koepka, win the PGA.
Yeah.
We saw Rahm win the Masters. We've seen Scottie Scheffler probably be the most consistent golfer on the PGA this year. Almost, was in contention to win this past week. Won the Masters last year. So, those are kind of the guys you think of. But right now, just when I say the word US Open champion, who comes to mind?
Jon Rahm.
Yeah, you think after a weak performance, he's ready, he's tight.
I think so too. And I feel like we were saying, I think it was a similar situation going into the Masters too.
Right.
Where it was the same deal, a little bit of a lull here,
After
all the hype.
Run.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. It just seems like that's what's gonna happen.
And
dude.
Could you imagine if order of finish, any way you want to put it, those three guys, 1, 2, and 3, down to the last hole? How ridiculous would that be?
Oh my God, it'd be so sick.
So really, really excited for that. Nothing like golf, Tony. But you know what else is good? The world of Major League Baseball.
What a play! Stop it, Tony. Yep. And Alonso cracks one of the Mets win the ball game. Out of sight.
And it works at 100 miles an hour. 14 strikeout.
Throw deep to left field. There it goes. See ya.
All right. So obviously we haven't talked Yankees, I haven't talked Yankees since Thursday. I know, obviously, Tony and Jay holding it down on Friday. But it's nice coming off a long stretch where it's basically all positive. Couple injuries, which hopefully aren't big deals. That would be the only negative part. As well as a pathetic performance on Friday. But
So that kind of annoys me.
Rebounding on both Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, Tony. So going back a bit here, we'll start with the negative first. Friday was a disaster to say the least. They lose 5-1 to the Padres. This was a game where they called up Randy Vasquez, one of the lesser known pitching prospects. And for a guy making his major league debut against a veteran team like San Diego, a lot of stars on that team, despite their poor record, I thought he held them at bay as best he could. 4 2/3, 4 hits, 2 runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts, 1 home run allowed. And he was able, to give them, I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing. Okay, yeah, he was able to give them 84 pitches, which is pretty good. He was opposed by Joe Musgrove, who was great last year. We talked about the shiny ears against the Mets, Tony.
Yeah.
He gave him 6 1/3, 6 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts, no walks, 88 pitches. So between him and then Wilson and then Josh Hader, who struck out the side in the bottom of the ninth, completely dominating this Yankee lineup. 11 strikeouts, 7 hits, no walks. That's pretty impressive.
Hader looking unhittable.
Hader looking unhittable. The one hiccup, of course, on Sunday Night Baseball to Mookie Betts. But you look at this game, you saw a lot of zeros. Bader didn't have a hit. Rordvat and Kai KF didn't have hits as well. Volpe 1 for 4, Calhoun 1 for 4, Torres 1 for 4, Judge 1 for 4, Rizzo 2 for 4, 1 extra base hit. So you got 6 singles and a double, and then 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position, 6 left on base. That's just not going to get the job done. The bullpen kind of had a tough time as well. Marinaccio gave up 2 runs in an inning and a third. And then Ryan Weber, I guess, wasn't terrible. 3 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, giving him 50 pitches. So tough way to start a long weekend. Really got me feeling the way I had felt, a couple weeks ago. So it was definitely tough to take. I'm not going to lie. And even, just coming off the heels of that disappointing, ending to the series with the Orioles in a series you felt like you should have won. You had that big lead, you blow it, you lose 2 out of 3. To drop the opening game to the Padres, to a team that has struggled mightily this year, especially with scoring runs, and against a guy like Joe Musgrove, who this year has not been good, it was tough. It definitely was tough. Fortunately, they did respond, and it did take a couple games for the offense to get going. But Saturday was very exciting. They won 3-2 in extras. And if you look at this one on the mound, you had Severino making a second start of the season, and he was fantastic, Tony. 6 2/3, 1 hit, 1 run, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, 1 mistake, a home run allowed to Tatis. But other than that, pitched very well and so economical. 6 2/3, 82 pitches. I mean, that's as economical as you can get.
Very efficient.
And I know the thing, and I'm guilty of it myself. And the thing we say with Severino is, we don't care how good he looks in the regular season. He hasn't shown he could do it in the postseason. But at the same time, we know the start that the Rays have gotten off to, which has put the Yankees in a hole and really makes them have to, itch and claw and just work as hard as they can to try to have a chance to win this division. Every game is so important. So I think it is huge, Tony, that Severino's back. You pair him with Cole, you pair him with Nestor, and you just hope that Rodon can come back sometime after the All-Star break. But I think it is really big for this team to have a chance to win this division. Severino's got to be pitching like this and healthy for the rest of the season.
Yeah, no, oh my God, that's definitely a true statement right there, especially for the Yankees. I mean, their pitching, I feel like with the injuries they've already incurred, for the season, some up and downs with Nestor. For Sevy to be totally healthy, I mean, it's would be huge,
Right.
In terms of having some advantage and hopefully getting some more wins for the Yankees. But I mean, I think overall, still a good series. I mean, against the Padres here. I mean, yeah, you gotta be pretty happy with the production. I mean, the pitching was solid. Like, I mean, you won the series. That's good. I mean, yeah, dude. I mean, you gotta be happy with that, Brian, right?
Yeah, Severino hitting 98 in the gun. So I mean, I think that shows that he's healthy.
Yeah, dude.
And
Consistently.
Consistently. So so you love that. This game definitely was a little tough offensively, only 3 runs, but bullpen was great, returning to that dominant fashion.
Right.
3 1/3, 2 hits allowed, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. So answering the call when you needed it late, when you needed the Yankees to rally. And they had a tough time against Michael Wacha, who they didn't get to until really the 7th inning with the DJ LeMahieu home run. They were able to get 1 run in the bottom of the first. You had Greg Allen. Not Greg Allen. Wow. Aaron Judge scoring that run in the first inning on a LeMahieu double. Rizzo throwing out at home, which was tough. But one of those things, you just, when you're struggling to score runs, you have to take those chances. But other than that, Wacha dominated them up until the 7th. Luckily, DJ tied it, because you had Tatis in the 4th, tying it at 1 with a home run, and then a Kim single made it 2-1 Padres in the 7th. But DJ ties it in the 7th. Talked about the Yankee bullpen doing the job, and really, you think about Peralta, you think about Holmes, to be able to do what they did in this one, especially when you are the home team in an extra inning situation. What a big lift it is when you shut the opposing offense down in the top half of the inning, 1, 2, and 3, only throwing 8 pitches. And all it was, all right, well, we have to execute here. We have to score 1 run with no outs and a runner on second. And I just think when you're in that scenario, I mean, I think it's well over 50% of the time you're winning that game.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's what we saw the Yankees do. So you had Greg Allen pinch run for Rizzo, who had made the previous innings last out. They walked LeMahieu, so they wanted to set up the double play. Harrison Bader bunted, and they actually were able to advance the runner, Greg Allen, to 3rd, but LeMahieu was out at 2nd. And then Bader, on an indifference to take away the double play, was able to steal 2nd. And then IKF as a rope down the line single, ball game over, Yankees win. So nice to see IKF come up big here, have a walk-off hit. He's definitely been much maligned by the Yankee fan base. But at the same time, Tony, and believe me, I'm the last person who's getting excited over IKF,
Really?
but I just feel like for a guy that he knows and he's accepted that most fans, unfortunately for him, don't want him on the team, I think he's responded pretty well. He's played good defense in the outfield, a place that he hadn't played before. And, he's got hits in spots. He's had decent games. I mean, you look at the numbers, they're not great, but I just think versus what Aaron Hicks did before he got released, IKF has been much more of a professional.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I would say so.
I know you're obviously tight, but and he had another, or no, this was his last good start, but with Wacha, I mean, are you almost like flabbergasted, Tony, how well he's pitched the past, 6, 7 starts?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, again, when he was with the Mets, I mean, I don't think he had 2 good consistent outings, dude. Ever.
Yeah, it was like, let's just hope for 1, maybe.
Yeah.
But if you look at this, so, he got off to a very choppy start in April. His ERA was actually 6.75. But since then, I mean, if you want to just look at the month of May as a whole, Tony, 32 innings, 16 hits, only 3 runs allowed in 32 innings. That's a .84 earned run average. The thing that stands out is against Kansas City, he had that no hitter into the 8th inning, struck out 11. And then other than that, 4 strikeouts, 4 strikeouts, 4 strikeouts, 3 strikeouts, but he hasn't allowed more than 5 hits. And only, out of those, 5 starts, he's only walked, more than 2 batters once. So he's been in control. He's been economical with his pitch count, and it's a period of time starting on May 2nd where he's seen his ERA drop from 5.46 to 3.45.
Yeah, dude, that's really impressive. I was looking at his last 5 starts too. Ridiculous. Only giving up 3 earned runs in his last 5 starts. It's unbelievable, dude.
And it's just so ironic too on a Padres team where it seems like everybody's struggling.
Yeah.
Michael Wacha is thriving. So it'll just be an interesting story to watch. The rest of this season, can he continue to keep this level of performance up? You look at it recently, obviously the Met debacle was the Met debacle. But with Boston last year, he did have a 3.32 earned run average in 23 starts. But then you look at the previous 3 years, 5.05 with Tampa, 6.62 with the Mets, and 4.76 with the Cardinals. So a guy who was highly touted when he came up in 2013 definitely has had some bumps in the road. But at age 31, he might have a little left in the tank. And right now has been one of the biggest bargains in this past, free agency class.
Yeah, you got to love it for the Padres. Got a nice bargain deal there.
Bargain deal, but then they're 5 games under 500?
I know.
Melvin, I think, is going to get canned. Like, if you had to guess, would you say that he's not the manager next season based on what we've seen up to this point, or it really could change pretty quickly? What do you think?
You mean, are you asking me if he rides out the season, you're saying? Or
no,
not?
I know he's going to ride out the season, I think, unless it really hits the fan. But I'm saying, let's say they miss the playoffs, he's gone.
Gone. That has to be.
Not even any trepidation.
No.
I mean, in an era, I know it's a different sport, but like where Gallant, if you look at it, like if you didn't know anything about Gallant and you just looked at his win-loss and how they made it to these guys, you would say it was ridiculous that he was fired without having any context. So that's why with Melvin, barely make the playoffs last year, maybe kind of get lucky to get to the NLCS and then to miss the playoffs this year after improving the team. I mean, that's
after spending so much money and everything. Oh,
yeah.
Recipe for you're fired.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So the final game of this series, which was on Sunday, we saw the Yankees in a slugfest, 10-7 over the Padres in a game you didn't expect to be that high scoring. You had Yu Darvish versus Garrett Cole. But Darvish got hammered 2 2/3, 7 runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. And this was on the heels of Cole allowing 3 runs through 2 innings on a Cronenworth homer in the first, and then an Azokar single on a little league home run play that made it 3-1 Padres. But the Yankees had answered back in the bottom of the first. Judge, who's been seemingly on fire since coming back from that injury. But the third inning is where this game was won. And I know Cole got into a little trouble later. But it was an inning where, they went in trailing 3-1 and ended the inning up 8-3. So a 7-run third inning where it was all singles. There was 2 doubles and the rest were singles and fielders' choices. But you love seeing everybody get in the mix.
Right.
Volpe with an RBI, Judge with an RBI, Rizzo with an RBI, Bader with an RBI, Calhoun with an RBI, IKF with an RBI, and Higashioka with an RBI.
Jesus, dude.
Stringing along those hits. I mean, that's why, I always talk about at this point, the single being undervalued. This is a pure example of where you could put up 10 runs in a game and not really have any power, and it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
It was a game, Bader had a homer to make it, 9-6, and then IKF had a single to make it 10-6. After Dorr had homered off Cole to make it 8-5, and they scored on a fielder's choice. So got a little hairy, but then they ended up winning this one 10-7 to take 2 out of 3 from the Padres. Crazy game. But at the end of the day, you're happy with it. The bullpen was good for the most part. Maybe a little concerned about Cole. We've seen him get hit around the last couple starts. I mean, six runs allowed in this one, 5 earned. Did have the 9 strikeouts, and the home runs have been coming after not allowing any. I think it was his first 5 starts of the season, whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, he's 6-0. His ERA is under 3. So you just hope next time out, he can kind of deliver one of those vintage performances.
He will.
Yeah. No, and I'm confident in that myself. We're on to last night. Where again, the Yankees, so for the second straight game, put up 10 runs. So that's definitely something that we saw them struggle to do early on in this season. You had Domingo Germán versus Miller, who had been outstanding. The rookie, I think his ERA was 1.35. They tag him for 11 hits, 8 runs. So really getting the offense going. This is a game where Aaron Judge nearly had 3 home runs, but he did have 2, one off the foul pole in the third, which was 378 feet. And then he also had one in the 6th, 378 as well. That went to left center. Jake Bowers had a big game, an RBI double in the second, as well as a homer to right in the 4th, 355 feet. So we haven't seen him get consistent at bats, but 3 for 4 last night. Big boost to the team. And unfortunately, Harrison Bader hurting his groin. I don't believe there is like results of an MRI or anything, but usually with that scenario, Tony, that's an injured list trip. So that's
a little
tough.
sabbatical.
Bader's been good. He's brought that edge. But Stanton should be joining the team in Los Angeles this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
So you're kind of swapping out those parts. Before I mentioned Rizzo being banged up. He didn't play yesterday. The neck's a little sore. Seems like he should avoid an IL stint and be in the lineup tonight. So you're dealing with those type of things, but it doesn't take away from the fact that last night in Seattle, you put on an offensive showcase, 18 hits. Judge was 3 for 4. I mentioned the 2 homers, nearly a third. Glaber had 2 hits. And then, you also Bowers with the 3 for 4 as well. IKF 2 for 5. Higashioka 2 for 5. So everybody contributing up and down the lineup. Domingo Germán was okay, but okay was good enough on a night where you scored 10 runs.
Oh, yeah.
Pitched into the 7th, allowed 4 hits. 4 runs on 7 hits, walking 3, striking out 4 for his 3rd win of the year. Abreu and Marinaccio combined to give you 2 2/3 scoreless, no hits, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. So answering the call. And I've mentioned this before with Abreu, but it is nice that he's a guy. I mean, his ERA is 3.58. He's all over the place. I'll be the first to admit it. But it's nice that he at least gives you the chance to just dominate the opponent. He's not going to do it every time, but you know that he can. Even if he's inconsistent, at least you have that. He's not a middling reliever. He has great stuff.
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point. It's a good upside.
So you like that. And one thing that all in all, you're 33-23. The record in May is impeccable. The division lead is down to 6. The Rays and I think the Blue Jays lost yesterday as well. You're only 2 games back of the Orioles. So you like where you are. You have reinforcements coming back, and hopefully Bader's not down for too long. The one thing that kind of stands out to me, though, to be honest, is LeMahieu. And I was talking about this with Corey the other day. He's hitting 250 this year. We're now like 3 years removed from like really prime LeMahieu. All Yankee fans, me included, have made excuses when he's healthy. But we're 2 months into the season. He's hitting 250. He doesn't have a ton of home runs. It's just hard for me to think. I'm not even confident, Tony, that he can be like a 280 guy.
Really?
And he was over 300 guy. And, I think there's 2 years left on this deal. He's getting up there in age. Obviously, love the versatility, pretty good defensively, but it's just like it's been a while since we've seen DJ LeMahieu be a consistent 280, 290 hitter.
What do you think his future is going to be?
Well, no, they're going to keep him because of the contract and the versatility, but probably they're going to wean his playing time off. You would imagine, and hopefully Josh Donaldson doesn't take away from that because despite DJ struggling, Donaldson, whose return I guess is imminent, homered in a AAA game the other day, but it's like, I don't care about that. He's going to be terrible. He can admire his home runs in AAA all he wants. I can't see him making an impact here. But it is a scenario that they will have to navigate, Tony, because Cabrera is only hitting around 200 as well. Peraza is raking in AAA. Maybe they'll bring him up. You'd love to see that, especially with the way that Volpe has been struggling recently, but they want to give Donaldson the first shot. So it is, that's the one thing that you kind of have to see how it'll play out. But in your mind with LeMahieu, I mean, what do you think moving forward? I mean, do you think he has a chance to heat up and at least hit 270, 275?
Yeah, I think he does. I mean, what's his playing time like now? Does he get a lot of it?
Yeah. I mean, he's playing, let's say it's a 7-day week. I mean, he's playing at least 5 games, most likely 6. He's spelling Rizzo. You need him on the team, but it's just like, a lot of 1-for-4s and 1-for-5s.
Yeah, that is a little tough, dude. I mean, I guess, like you said, it's tough. I mean, I feel like he kind of is one of he's like really your best option. Again, like, You mentioned how Cabrera is, and obviously, like you said, I really don't think I could see the Yankees, throwing Donaldson around at first when he comes back. But like you said, in reality, I mean, it's just he's not the better option. So, I mean, I wouldn't think DJ's playing time gets diminished by that much, at least for an extended period of time. So there's time for him to figure it out. What's his problem? Is he just like swinging underneath pitches, swinging through
a lot
pitches?
Of ground balls.
Like, yeah, just
a lot of ground
outs.
balls. You look at it at a near MVP level, Tony. In 2020, he slugged .590 in the COVID season over 50 games and hit .364.
Right.
Since then, 268, 10 homers, 57 RBIs. Last season, 261, 12 homers, 46 RBIs. Slugging percentage, 362, 377. I mean, this year he's up to 411. The OPS is 728. In his last full season before that COVID year, or his first year with the Yankees when he was great, hitting 327, that OPS was approaching 900. So it's not to say he's terrible, but I just think there was an expectation when you sign a guy to a 6-year deal that he's not going to be mediocre. And right now, unfortunately, he is.
Yeah, that's tough, dude.
So
tough.
I hope he turns around. I love him. I think he's a great player when he's right, but it's just you have to ask at 34, is he in a decline that he can't come out of? Hopefully not. But it's definitely something to monitor. Maybe they give him more days off. Maybe that refreshes him a little bit. But it just would, especially like come postseason time, we need as much contact as possible. And LeMahieu hitting 200, hitting 220 in a series is going to be detrimental, I think.
Yeah, no, you're totally right.
So they will get game 2 of their series in Seattle tonight. Nestor Cortez, who struggled of recent, 4-2, 5.3 ERA, opposed by Logan Gilbert, 3-2, 3.60. I've always been high on Gilbert, 69 strikeouts in 60 innings. So one of Seattle's best pitchers. So I don't think it'll be easy early on for the Yankees. Situation we'll have to monitor. Obviously, the question is, is Rizzo in the lineup? You're not expecting Bader to be in the lineup. Will somebody like Willie Calhoun, have a big hit? I mean, or Jake Bowers.
Yes.
I mean, you might need those guys to step up. Does LeMahieu maybe have a multi-hit game? So a lot of things to consider. Seattle is the favorite right now, minus 135. I'll give my prediction in a second. But one thing I want to mention before we talk Mets here, Tony, is a little lack of respect. Last night, Seattle was favored. Tonight, Seattle's favored. I mean, what's up with that? They're only 2 games over 500. I know they're at home, but
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is about home. What's the Nestor's
struggling, but it's like the Yankees are hot though.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just think it should be a pick 'em if anything. If you're gonna go to that level, I think the Yankees have shown this year 33-23 versus 28-26 that they're a better ball club.
No, yeah, you're right. That's weird. A little disrespect for sure.
Yeah. So, overall positive message. But let's, take care of these injuries. Tommy Kahnle return is around the corner as well. So that'll be good for the bullpen. But like I said, we'll talk about tonight's game in a second. Mets were off yesterday, but did have a disappointing series in Coors.
Yeah, you could say the least about it. We're going to start off, obviously, with Friday here. Mets ended up dropping 2 out of 3 against the Rockies at Coors. But, Friday was a win. It was definitely the big bright spot of the weekend. You had Max Scherzer on the mound against Sebald, I believe, from the Rockies. Mets take this game 5-2. Just to walk you through the scoring here, actually. Mets draw a leadoff walk with Brandon Nimmo. And then right after that, Lindor takes Sebald deep to center, I believe, 439 feet off of a slider that was just, a little bit too much over the middle of the plate. And you're thinking Lindor, we'll have to see that from him, nice long ball, nice home run from Lindor. And again, starting off a game where you're like, all right, you're scoring the first inning. That's great. Fast forward to the next scoring here, bottom of the second, McMahon with a dinger off of Scherzer. Again, another dinger to center field again. We know it's Coors, 430 feet here. Balls were flying, dude, all weekend.
But besides, obviously the numbers weren't good, but just stuff wise from what you saw, was Scherzer looking bad, or was it he was making mistakes?
No. This was just like honestly, like I will give it to Colorado. I feel like this weekend they were really good at hitting off-speed pitches, like kind of stretching their bat across the strike zone, digging for balls and stuff like that. Like there was a lot of impressive hits from them. This was definitely one of them. We know the power that McMahon has too. And again, in cores, I mean, this was a curveball. Maybe was a little bit, definitely probably could have touched like the outside of the strike zone a little bit more.
Hung.
Yeah, kind of a little bit, but nothing like egregious or anything like that. And that was the only home run that Scherzer had all day. The solo shot, I believe, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And that was really the only run that Scherzer gave up. Actually, he was great throughout the rest of the game. He did a great job too of mixing up his pitches. Starting off the game, his fastball I think was kissing like 91, 90 even.
Unbelievable.
I know, pretty crazy. By the fourth inning, I guess he loosens up a little bit and it's hitting like 93, but still probably like that's it, dude.
Damaged goods.
I know, I really think so, dude. A little tough here. But I mean, like the veteran pitcher he is, he went to his curveball, he went to his changeup, he went to his cutter. All of these pitches getting strikeouts off of too, strikeouts swinging too. So he was fooling batters, he was mixing up pitches, he wasn't relying on any single pitch. I think because of that, he was able to, get through the lineup a little bit easier. At that point, it's 2-1 with McMahon's home run. Mets are still up, top of the fifth. We continue scoring with Francisco Lindor, RBI single to center. Nimmo gets brought in, making it 3-1. And then right after that, Brett Beatty gets an RBI single, bringing in Lindor, making it 4-1. Bottom of the eighth here, Charlie Blackmon homers 443 feet to center off of a David Robertson pitch. Again, that was a slider that really hung over to the middle of the strike zone here.
Blackmon, was an all-star, was one of the better outfielders in the league. He's older now.
Yeah.
I'm just curious because I haven't seen him in a while. I know his numbers are like okay this year. How did he look? Does he still look like he has it or no?
Yeah, he does. I mean, he's got the flow. He looks in shape. Like, I mean, I feel like there was maybe a couple of years ago when he was every day he was at a home run. He still has that swing, So.
Yeah, and really, I mean, I think both the Yankees and the Mets, trade deadline time, if Colorado's out of it, not a bad veteran bat, honestly.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Throw him at the DH spot too. Like, can play the field.
Yeah,
should be interesting. And then fast forward a little bit here. Top 9, Brad Hand pitching for Colorado.
Almost former Met.
Francisco Lindor, RBI sac fly, dude. So making it 5-2, and then that, obviously that kind of ends the game there. At that point, dude, I mean, you're looking at this game and, pretty like clean win. Big game from Lindor, who was 2 for 4, had 4 RBIs with a home run. Lindor was, 2 for 2, he was walked 3 times actually. So it's pretty impressive. Nimmo does draw a lot of walks. Brett Beatty 2 for 4 with the RBI too. So everyone kind of, for the most part, when you need, Lindor, big game for him. Max Scherzer lasted 7 innings with a final line of 6 hits, 1 earned run off of that solo shot early on, 8 Ks. There were 102 pitches, 74 of them were strikes too. So efficient and accurate. Robertson had that inning when he gave up a home run. And then, Rayleigh comes in actually for the 9th, walks the first 2 batters, they pull him. So he was actually, I think he ended up getting an out, like a fly out or something, and then walked the next 2 batters. So he brought out of Vito for 2 outs. And he actually gives up a hit, but gets a strikeout, gets a ground out, game over. So that was good there. Your starting pitcher for, something that doesn't happen a lot for the Mets, gave you length, was efficient, was effective, getting strikeouts. And then Max Scherzer, I mean, I think it's good to see him kind of settle down. I think maybe one mistake with Scherzer was him trying to go to the fastball so much still. And I think what you saw today on Friday, like I was saying, he went to his slider, he went to his curveball, went to his cutter, went to his changeup. Like he went to all these off-speed pitches and we're getting strikeouts. Yeah. So I mean, I think that's going to be, what we see in a lot of older pitchers too, that when their velocity dips, they adjust by going to the off-speed breaking balls. And I mean, it worked.
And specifically with the slider, because that always stood out to me with Scherzer. I mean, is it the same bite?
Yeah,
like
it really
ridiculous,
is.
No chance to hit it.
There's no chance. And he, like when it's on, like it was on Friday, it's lowered away, and it's like you're not hitting it.
Slider is such an effective pitch.
So ridiculous.
Sharp break.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I have to see that. That was really the only thing you kind of love to see.
Other in the offense
for the
though.
weekend. Yeah,
And
of course,
Alvarez.
of course. No, yeah, you love Alonso get the 20th.
Alvarez is
the
going to
offense.
start
Alvarez
for the
is
National
great,
League
dude.
catcher. I'm telling you.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. But on Saturday here, Justin Verlander on the mound. You know, you're hyped with Scherzer. Now you got Verlander, the big 1-2
He's going to
here.
throw a gem.
Yeah, that's what you're saying to yourself here, Brian. But
Laying the proverbial egg
is what he did on Saturday.
Very good there. Very good transition.
Thank you very much. And it started, you know, early and often for Colorado. You're looking scoring start in the bottom of the second. Again, you know, we can, you know, look at what I guess Verlander looked like in the first inning. You know, he comes out there, and you know, it's a line out, it's a ground out, and another fly out. So, you know, no strikeouts for Verlander in the first inning. He threw every single pitch in that first inning was a 4-seam fastball.
Wow.
So he threw 3, 6, 7, 8 pitches in the first inning. Every single one of them was a 4-seam fastball. And honestly, I don't know, it was kind of weird watching that because it was like, you know, it wasn't great. I mean, they were getting hit. You know, they're hitting 92, 94 around there, which is what Verlander hits on the gun, which is great. You know, we've seen him warm up and hit like 96 and stuff like that. But coming down to the second where it all started tumbling down here, again, like that first inning, I know he was flying out and stuff, but his pitches were getting hit. And then starting the second here, you had, you know, McMahon actually was struck out swinging off of a slider. Just want to put that out. Then you have Grichuk who, you know, singled to left. And then Castro singles to left again. And then Jones RBI single here. And now you look at this at bat where Jones hit him for an RBI single. It was a 5-pitch at bat, and every pitch was a 4-seam fastball. And again, you got to give it to Colorado because they were obviously sitting on his fastball. And then on top of that, like, you know, Verlander was located like this hit specifically. It was like middle of the plate, but to the outside, you know, like he had to stretch for it, you know, Jones had to stretch. So again, like it was a good hit, but again, like, I mean, it just seems like his fastball is hittable. Like you just struck out someone in the beginning of this inning off of a slider. Like, why are you throwing
And his curve is good too. Right?
Yeah, his curve is very good.
Yeah. Yeah. He's always been like that though. He loves the gas.
Yeah.
And I'm sure like the splits must have been nuts for this game in terms of fastball percentage.
Yeah, so high. Like I said, the first inning was all fastballs. Like,
it's like you don't even need to tip the pitches.
Yeah.
You're tipping them for him by
literally
just throwing it every time.
Like so unbelievable.
Yeah.
And after that, you know, RBI double from then, you know, 2 more score. You know, this is all in the second inning, by the way. Blackman comes up with another RBI double to right. At that point, it's 4-0. And then Profar with a sac fly RBI making it 5-0. After that, Diaz lines out, and you know he's out of the second here, thankfully. You know, Mets were able to kind of fight back a little bit, but not before, you know, bottom of the third, another RBI double from Jones off of a 4-seam fastball. That makes it 6-0. Top of the fourth here, you get a nice solo shot from Peter Alonso, 415 feet to left center. It's 20th of the year. Obviously, you know about leading the home or whatever in the league. And again, like you like to see that from your boy PD trying to jumpstart some type of offense, which he does, by the way. We'll get to, but makes it 6-1. Now we're in top of the sixth here. You know, Suter here pitching for Colorado. Excuse me. You know, Brett Beatty with an RBI double. McNeil and Alonso were both on base there, making it 6-2. After that, Marte grounded out to third, which scored. Alonso, who was on third base, making it 6-3. And then here we go. Alvarez, right after some nice small ball, gets up to the plate here with Kana and Vientos both on base. Cranks one for his 8th of the season, I believe. 435 feet, tying up the game 6-6. You know, we've seen this time and time again where like a veteran player in the team, such as Alonso, steps up, starts some scoring, and then we have some young bucks just following that momentum, following that lead, and kind of, you know, performing and either winning the game or tying it up for us in big spots. And right there, you know, you got a tie ball game right there. Going now top of the 7th, Marte, RBI single, scoring McNeil, who was terrific in getting on base. And Marte, ironically enough, was good this game, honestly, in bringing guys in. Bottom of the 7th here, you know, you're up by 1. It's 7-6. You bring in Brigham, who isn't great, but, you know, he's had some bright spots. Unfortunately, you know, up against McMahon here, you know, hits a 2-run dinger to right field off of a sweeper that was 84 miles an hour. I'm like, again, it could have been a little bit more on the corner low and away, but it was a low and away sweeper.
You can't miss
know,
with a sweeper or slider.
Yeah,
you
you really can't. So, of course, we know about, again, Mr. McMahon here with the good series against the Mets, and we've seen him have bright spots in his career too. We know he can hit the long ball. He's a good hitter. Bring him here, misses his mark, and obviously, he gets taken advantage of. Right there. So it's 8-7. You lose the lead. And then here we go now, bottom of the 8th. Drew Smith is on the mound here. He gives up an RBI triple to Profar to right field, making it 9-7 off of a curveball, by the way. That was, just, again, missed over the middle of the plate. Diaz, another RBI single off of a slider that missed off the middle of the plate. Again, pretty interesting here. I talk about Drew Smith always throwing fastballs. In that inning, he only threw 3 fastballs. So,
wow.
That's, again, maybe he was thinking like, oh, they were keying on Verlander's fastball. Maybe I shouldn't throw mine. But then he was just missing pitches.
Yeah. Got to have confidence if you're going to throw it.
Yeah. So maybe Drew Smith, who we've seen some bright spots from, could certainly use maybe, some work on his off-speed pitches if he wants to go there, which is, which is what he needs. That's fine, I guess. Obviously, Mets are good, but a lot of runs. Big comeback from the 6th, with getting some RBI, small ball, Alvarez, the 3-run dinger, tying it up and everything. But I mean, you got to find a way to score in your 8th and 9th inning a little bit. Like, I understand, you had the lead. It would have been a nice point at then to sit on your bullpen and let them win you the game. But your bullpen didn't get the job done. Brigham came in, Smith came in, both came up 2 runs each. That wasn't great. So, I mean, you needed your guys to kind of step up a little bit even more offensively. I know maybe you're asking a lot. But, runners in scoring position, you had the opportunities later in the game too. You were only 3 for 9 with that. Vientos was 0 for 1, Lindor 0 for 1, runners in scoring position, Nimmo 2. We know Alvarez was 1 for 2 there. It's kind of tough, dude. I mean, I would say, yeah, your lineup, I think, got the job done. I would kind of blame some more. Put more of the blame on the bullpen. You expect more from Drew Smith, definitely. And it's tough, dude, because really, like I said, McNeil had a great game, 2 for 4. He had 2 runs. Alonso was 2 for 5 with the dinger, with the Beatty 1 for 5 with the RBI. Kano was 1 for 2 as well. He came around the bags. Vientos was 2 for 4 at the DH spot. Alvarez obviously with 3 RBIs and the dinger, 2 for 4. They did a great job. The bottom half of your lineup was killing it, and Alonso and McNeil did well too. Maybe you can expect more out of Nimmo and Lindor, but I mean, hey, I think you scored 7 runs. I don't think you can really blame your offense for the loss there. Super tough there. But anyway, moving on to Sunday, another super tough loss. High scoring game. Mets drop the game on Sunday to the Rockies. The score of 11-10, dude. So super tough. Tyler McGill on the mound, who didn't give you any length. His final line: 4 innings, 10 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks. Again, take you through some of the scoring here. Again, it was early and often. Rockies end up scoring first here at the bottom of the 3rd. Grichuk with an RBI single. McMahon scores. Castro comes up. RBI single. Scores. Grichuk in, makes it 2-0. Right after that, Mets actually answer. Tommy Pham, RBI double, scores Marte and Alonso, making it 2-2. Right after that, Escobar, 2 names you probably don't see on the score sheet a lot here. RBI single to left, bringing around Pham and Kana. No, sorry, just Pham, making it 3-2. And then Alvarez comes in. Another dinger here, back-to-back games to left field, 420 feet. Obviously, he loves Coors Field, it seems. Makes it 6-2 as Khan and Escobar both on base. And you're thinking, let's fucking go, dude. That's, again, jump start we need here. It's the 4th inning. We just got the lead. Let's rely on our pitching now. Unfortunately, McGill in the 4th gives the lead right back. Well, doesn't give it back, but gives up the lead. Courtesy from McMahon, RBI double. I think actually 2 bases clearing, I want to say. Yeah, Blackman, Bryant, Profar scored, making it 6-5. Right after that, Grichuk scores McMahon here, making it 6-6. So what looked like, the Mets could be in a lead here, get some momentum going. McNeil just gives it all back at McNeil. McGill gives it all back to Colorado. And from there, it was kind of tough. that was the end of McGill there. 10 hits in 4 innings. Absolutely
You're
despicable.
done with McGill.
Honestly, so fucking done.
Move him to the pen, or
You might as
you think
well.
he's still gonna get
Might
that
as
first?
well, because you brought in Seth Nogasek actually in the 5th here, who gives up fucking like 5 runs here. Tofar, I think gets a double, and then gives it back-to-back doubles. Yeah, Wins gets a double to center, scoring Tofar. Blackman, 2-run dinger, 6-9 at that point. McMahon comes up, another 2-run dinger for him on the weekend, makes it 11-6. 11-6, yeah. And Nogasek has been absolutely, totally ineffective as far as I'm concerned. He's someone who needs to go. Top of the 7th. This is when Mets start coming back. When Lindor comes up big again, solo shot makes it 11-7. Again, another example of a veteran guy jump starting some offense. We're in the 9th inning now. Top of the 9th. Tommy Pham, 2 RBI triple. McNeil and Marte score. Beatty, RBI ground out. Scores Pham. Makes it 11-10. Unfortunately, in that final inning, Escobar, grounds out the second right after Beatty, ending the game, dude. And Mets lose 11-10. They drop the series to Colorado, a team you would expect them to kind of obviously do it better against. In terms of takeaways, from this weekend, Scherzer seems to be back on, seems to be adjusting well with the lack of his fastball. Verlander certainly, needs to get off of his fastball a little bit. Bullpen kind of sucked. Alonso hits a dinger. Alvarez is hot right now. It's great. Lindor was great. I feel like your lineup, again, like scored 10 runs Sunday, 7 runs Saturday, 5 runs on Friday. That's a great, productive offensive weekend. You gave up way too many runs. Your pitching has been hurting you. You haven't been getting the length you need. McGill's got to go. Verlander's, you're a little worried about him. He needs to make the adjustment I think Scherzer has made. So maybe the two of them can talk a little bit. And now you got a series against Philadelphia here, starting today. We're in Citi Field against the Phillies. Phillies have been a lackluster team, disappointing for sure. But you got a question. You got Kadai Senga on the mound here. Again, you talk about someone who, you like McGill, hasn't given you length, walks way too many freaking batters, doesn't give you any length, his pitch count is hitting 100 pitches by the 5th inning. That's not what you need when your bullpen isn't performing well, possibly due to the fact that they've been overworked. So Senga, he could throw a gem here. It's possible, but again, what proof do you have to kind of showcase that? Not much. It seems like batters are adjusting to his off-speed pitches. You're trying to give Kadai Senga, more time for rest and everything like that. He still doesn't throw a lot of strikes. I think in the month of May, I think he threw something like 420 pitches, and over 230 of them were, I think only 230 of them were strikes.
Yeah, so barely over 50%.
Yeah, barely. So it's
Bailey's?
like Bailey's, dude. That's
With some coffee?
Right now,
Great
it would be great, dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Speaking of coffee, I had a Vietnamese coffee over the weekend.
Great.
It's 4 shots of espresso with condensed milk.
So it was Dan Campbell.
Oh my God, dude.
Were you really jacked?
Literally, dude, within seconds. Seconds, Brian.
That's great. It's great.
So, you try to be positive about the Mets tonight. Again, you would think, off day, the bats are hot. They probably could score more than Phillies can. Bullpen's gonna be well rested. Let's go. So I would say if we want to get into our picks tonight,
You're
now,
still up 3, by the way, and there's only 2 days left, so I am up against the button.
Oh wow, dude. Okay, so this is pretty intense,
Yeah.
serious here. Things could happen. Yeah, I'm gonna say give me the Mets tonight. I think absolute slugfest from them. Kadai Senga, I'm gonna say give us a good outing. I'm gonna say 6 innings, 3 earned runs. Probably still gives up 3 walks. But Mets win it. I'm gonna say 7-3. Bullpen perfect. So let's go.
Wow. Yeah, it would be a good way to
Yeah,
start
dude.
this series with Philly, and especially, we've talked about this a lot, but just when you have 6 less matchups, love the whatever that is.
The new background dude.
Was that something done over the weekend or when?
Friday.
Friday.
Yeah, I figured out. I was like, dude, we need some more. Mike and I talked about it too, some more of a 90s, vibe.
Yeah.
So, dude, what's more 90s and more sports than just 90s sports logos, dude?
I could be mistaken, but top left, Mighty Ducks.
That's correct.
There we
The
go.
Mighty Ducks of Anaheim, dude.
Jean Sebastian Jaguar. That'll be a bite. We know
Wow,
that.
dude.
But all of that.
Oh, sorry. Do you want to get some comments from Prefer before? Or no?
Sure.
All right.
Throw him a bone.
He says Donaldson's offensive stats are fantastic at Yankees rehab assignment. He is back next week. He seems exclamation point.
That's just trying to get me tight. You know that.
Yeah,
and he knows as well as I do. Josh Donaldson is not a major league player at this point, and certainly not capable of being the starting third baseman for the New York Yankees.
Definitely not. Prefer then says, did you see Soto hit a home run and the ball smashed some lady in the head? He said,
Missed that.
No.
Yeah. We'll have to look into that.
Yeah, we should. And then he says, check out Rockies, Elias Diaz batting stats. He's batting .335.
Yes, and I had him, I think, on my fantasy team last year. But I think it's one of those things where, you have somebody and, he's, basically in his mid-30s at this point. He's been around a while.
32.
He's on the Rockies. I think it just happens sometimes with the altitude there where you kind of have a great year. I guess he did hit 18 home runs in 2021. But I don't know. And it's like, and I get he's hitting .335, but I do think by the time we have the All-Star game that Alvarez's numbers will be superior than his. Alvarez is going to have like 12, 13 home runs.
Yeah. And even though, look at his, he was with Colorado for 3 years prior to this year, and it wasn't anything crazy.
Exactly.
You mentioned the 2021, 18 home runs, 44 RBIs, 246 average, solid. But again, like, it's not like he was like, oh, it came to Colorado and it's like, wow, I'm just going to be cranking home runs now. Like, no.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see. What happens.
Oh, he's just probably starting a NL catcher.
Yeah,
Whoa,
no, that's what I'm saying.
dude,
Alvarez is going to start.
Yeah, dude. Come on, Prefer.
So tonight,
game
game 2 of this series, we talked about, Gilbert versus Cortez, 940 on yes.
Yeah, dude. What do you say?
And I think Nestor, definitely is due to bounce back. I am curious. They haven't announced it as of yet. But what the corresponding roster move will be for Bader, you would assume he's going on the injured list. So Florial would be a natural fit, outfielder for outfielder. But the thing is, he's not on the 40-man because they DFA'd him, and I don't know how anybody didn't claim him, and he has like 12 home runs in AAA. So
wait, no one claimed him? He was on.
No. You're so tight.
I mean, why wouldn't the Mets claim him?
I know, but instead they wanted to sign Gary Sanchez.
Oh, no, dude.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really hope that they just move some stuff around, move somebody to the 60-day injured list, whatever you have to do.
Yeah.
But let's get him up here because Stanton's coming back this weekend, but at least if you could give him a start or two just to see if he rakes. I mean, I don't know. I just looking at him, it seems like he can be a good player. He hasn't gotten consistent at bats. People argue with me all the time. But that's the truth at the end of the day. He has not gotten consistent at bats. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. A lot of roster decisions coming up. I don't know if just because he has minor league options and then they don't have to, DFA anybody or 60-day IL anybody, that Peraza would just come back up. But he's playing great in AAA. So I'd love to see him play as well. With the outside chance that's a 0% chance that he would do so well that they would just cut Donaldson. But we know that's not happening, Tony.
No.
But what is happening tonight, I think Nestor returning to his old ways. I think the 6 innings, the 2 earned, the 6 strikeouts, the 5 hits, the 1 walk. And then I think, maybe not 10 runs. I know they've done that the last 2 games, but I think 6 runs is fair tonight. More so against the bullpen. I think Gilbert will probably match Nestor toe to toe. But once we dip our toes, into that Seattle bullpen, I think the offense will get going. Volpe, is due for a good game. It has been a while since he's had a good game. He's going to be great, and he's just going through something right now. I know I've been wrong on this, but I think he's going to go 2 for 5 tonight, 2 doubles, 2 steals. LeMahieu, another person due. I think we'll have 2 hits as well. So a lot of, putting together innings, sack flies, singles, stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I think it's a 6-4 victory. Michael King in for the save here. Winning another series, Tony. Let's go.
Yeah, I love it, dude. My next pick here, I'm going to go actually with Kansas City tonight in St. Louis. St. Louis, we know about their very sad season so far.
Better of late, but still bad.
Better of late, you could say. I mean, they've dropped 2 out of their last 5 games here. They only won 2 out of the last 5 games. Excuse me.
And I think it was something like 6-20 they started.
Yeah.
So they've recovered from that somewhat, I guess.
They have, for sure. Game 1 of this series was last night against Kansas City, where St. Louis lost 7-0. So, I mean, offense absolutely stifled last night. Zach Greinke on the mound tonight for Kansas City. We know about how his age, decline, whatever, but not for nothing, the man still gives you some innings, gives you some good off-speed pitches. Loves Kansas City, loves pitching for Kansas City too. So I'm expecting actually, honestly, give me 7 innings out of him. Effective 7 innings, get up only 2 hits, maybe 1 earned run, and I'll say 6 Ks. Going to that crazy, low speed moving curveball. And then, of course, St. Louis, like I said, their offense is just dead right now. I think Kansas City, great underdog to take as St. Louis is minus 190. Give me Kansas City here winning 3-2.
Love it. Love it. And speaking of around 190, I believe the Rays are minus 195.
Wow.
Today, going up against the Cubs. You have Shane McClanahan.
Love it.
Versus Kyle Hendricks at Wrigley Field. Hendricks has only made 1 start this year, but he did get popped. McClanahan undefeated here at 8-0, 1.97, 75 Ks versus to 25 walks. So 3-1 ball to strikeout to walk ratio, and then he's allowed 17 less hits than innings pitched. So clearly, he's getting the job done against Chicago, not expecting any struggles. 7 scoreless, 9 strikeouts. And I think at the end of the day, it's, 6-1 Rays. I think that's fair.
6-1, you say?
Yeah.
Interesting. I was almost going to take that game, but I was like, I don't know, man.
I mean, I don't know. I can't envision a scenario where the Rays lose this game. I think Hendricks is washed.
Yeah, he is. You're totally right.
Hits, especially to this lineup.
No, yeah, you're right. Let me get to my last pick here. Oh man, I know, dude. Braves got beat last night by the Athletics. How about that, dude?
Yeah. You never know what'll happen. I was just catching up on Prefer's nonsense. That's why I kind of zoned out there for a second.
Oh, sorry. We'll get to it after my last pick. I'll take the Dodgers. Give me Dodgers. Always a safe pick. It's Washington. Tony Gonsolin. Tony's my guy. ERA is 1.82, dude. I know I've actually got some good wins actually by picking Washington because they have like a low key couple good pitchers that were on a good streak, some bats, but I think against the Dodgers here, I mean, it's just going to be an absolute wash. Is Muncy on the IL? Do you know?
I didn't see that. I'm not sure.
I don't think he went. I thought I may have seen it. Doesn't matter. I think there's more than enough power to Dodgers. I think absolutely pound the Nationals. I don't know, 8-2.
Speaking of pounding, and I know he's kind of been mediocre this year, but did pitch well against the Yankees. Give me the Orioles over the Guardians. Guardians just can't score.
Yeah.
They've been able to make up for that with other, excelling in other areas the last couple of years. Not working this year. Cal Quantrill, a guy who gives up a lot of hits. I think he's gonna give up a lot of runs against this Oriole offense. I think Gibson can navigate this Guardians lineup. It'll be easier what he had to deal with last time out against the Yankees. So I think he goes 6 scoreless, 6 strikeouts. And I think this is a 5-2 Oriole victory.
No, I like it, dude. Wow, I was just seeing. I saw what Prefer said. Brave starting pitcher came back from the double Achilles tear
last night.
Yeah. I get Mike Soroka. I had no idea he came back, dude.
Pitch?
I mean, not horrible. I mean, he pitched 6 innings, 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 walks, 3 Ks through 83 pitches. Wow, I didn't know he was back. That's so crazy. I thought that guy was never going to pitch again, dude. I don't know if you followed his story.
Yeah, no, I know. Soroka. Yeah, he was great. He was starting playoff games for the Braves.
Yeah, at like 22 years old, dude.
Right.
Like absolute like prodigy. Tore his Achilles, I think, in spring training the next year, all healed up, threw some pitches, and just stepped on his foot wrong off the mound, tore it again. And literally, Prefer said, he missed almost 3 full seasons. pretty crazy to see that. So you would assume, from that, I mean, obviously, maybe Braves won't lose again here, but obviously, I don't know. When that happened to Soroka, I felt so bad for him. And then the guy was drafted when he was 19, like super youthful, great prospect. Of course, like coming from Atlanta too, having a good pitching prospect and everything.
Like the Dodgers.
And it was just so sad seeing that happen to him.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm honestly hope for the best for him, dude. I mean, he was he was lights out when he was coming into the league.
And speaking of lights out, speaking of hoping for the best, Liam Hendricks also made his return to the mound last night for the White Sox. Did give up 2 runs over an inning against the Angels, but the whole important thing here, cancer-free, working his way back, multiple-time All-Star, widely known as one of the best closers in the game for a couple of years. So you'd expect him to revert back to form. And, of course, the important thing is that he's cancer-free. Yeah,
no, it's great. That's a huge win.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple more comments.
Yes. From before that, we'll get to some Yankees here. Yankees fans trolled Tatis over the weekend by screaming steroids. Imagine throwing Barnes bags of broccoli or pay your golf cart fees.
I mean, is that really that funny, honestly?
The bags of broccoli thing is funny.
Yeah, the golf cart fees is kind of ridiculous. People golf. Like, it's not funny.
He wants to know where we think Alvarez should be hitting in the lineup. I believe on Sunday he was second in the order. And of course, before that it was 9th. He was in the 9 hole.
Now, who was it? I think it was actually, Tommy and McMonigal, who Matthew is a big fan of, actually. We're filling in, like I had said, for Craig and Evan yesterday. And I think it was Tommy Lugauer, because he's a Mets fan. And he was saying that it's actually a good thing that they bat him 9th, just because, you got the top of the order coming up.
Right.
He's going to get pitches to hit. Versus if he's higher up in the lineup and then it's like Pham, Kana, Escobar following him, that they're going to pitch around him.
Yeah.
Obviously, batting second, you still have the meat of the order coming up, but they haven't been hitting other than Alonso. Right. So, I mean, what's your thoughts? Second versus 9th. Do you see both angles? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like second because Nimmo does get on base a lot. So it's like, all right, you're putting Alvarez up there with a runner on. Like, there's a good chance that he can at least advance the runner. But like what you were saying, I always did enjoy him batting 9th because of that reason, and also because the bottom half of our lineup kind of fucking sucks.
Right.
So to have someone that could get something going was always been good. And of course, I always kind of leaned like keeping him there because you don't want to mess with anything. But he was getting hits when he was in the 2 hole there. So I don't know. I would say just keep him at 9th. I mean, Lindor's at your 2 hole, that's fine too. Like,
and it is because, like, based on walks, all that stuff that happens. In key spots, it can be very random what part of the order is coming up. So instead of having to bug, we need to turn the lineup around, you got like your best hitter batting 9th.
Yeah,
he's gonna hit. So
I love it, dude. Yeah, hell yeah. But first, just imagine batting ahead of Alonso. Yeah, that would be good. But again, like I think it's fine.
But I think though him 2, Lindor 3, Lindor struggling. I don't know. I don't think they're just gonna groove him in there versus Alonso. They don't want to get a runner on for him. They might throw more strikes to that scenario.
Yeah,
now.
I think you're totally right. Matthew coming in live from bio class.
Biology.
And he
Where's
says,
the pig, Matthew?
The pig, dude. He says, my guys, love you. Pump for the Heat. Fuck Boston always. Yanks are killing it.
Of course.
Judge MVP back to back. Book
17
it, dude.
home runs.
Dude,
batting
book
average
it,
over
dude.
300.
Book
missed
it,
10
dude.
games.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I almost didn't, hammer that point home enough, Tony. I mean, he really has been unbelievable.
Oh, he has had a great season so far, yeah.
And they were talking about it. I was riled. Tommy and McMonigal yesterday, they were, I think it was both of them were acknowledging, or no, it wasn't them. It was actually Boomer and Gio. And they said, in terms of guys that they've seen playing in New York, by far, Judge is the best player they've ever seen play.
Okay.
No, I'm just telling you what they said.
No, that's great.
Why was it such a tight response?
No, because you're just telling me what they said, dude. Bullshit.
3. Anyway, Tony. That being said, I am so pumped. There's so much optimism. I can't wait to see, Stanton back in the lineup. I mean, him hitting with the way they've been scoring recently, it's going to be a dangerous lineup. You know, like I said, hopefully Bader's not gone for too long. And I was just thinking about this too, because I know, it's changed a little bit. You're going to have holes in lineups. Nobody's perfect. But when you think about the Yankees, guys that are at least, above average or all-stars, I mean, of course, Judge, Rizzo, Torres, Stanton, and Judge, Rizzo, Torres, Stanton. Who am I missing? I guess that's really it. Like, because LeMahieu is kind of average, but like having 4 guys like that, is that enough, or do you think that they need 5 or 6?
In terms of just like producing offense,
like I'm talking about
just
good
fielders, good
getting
good bats.
where we need them to be.
I
is
think
that enough?
I think 4 guys is a minimum. Yeah, I think it's enough.
Yeah, and then because I mean, Bader at times can excel. We saw him do that in the postseason.
Yeah, you have those supporting players in place. Yeah, but if you have 4 big like players, then
And one thing that I love, and he's injured, he's going to be back soon. But Jose Trevino for playoffs, like, and you think about end of game scenarios, like his numbers, will probably hit 240, whatever, limited power. Maybe the All-Star team last year was a good story, but like I feel like he's clutch. So it's sick that you have that. And then, hopefully, IKF's not starting any playoff games for you, but the fact that he hits for contact, it's nice to see that. And then that's why DJ is so important though, because you go from 4 and then you add LeMahieu, you add Bader, all of a sudden 2/3 of your lineup is dangerous. So it'll be very important for him to try to revert to form. And then if Volpe can give you anything, I mean, he's really struggled. But it's like what I told you with the Mets. You got to just take your lumps here. Going to AAA and hitting 400 is not going to do anything.
Yeah, no, you're right.
So I can't wait for him to turn it around. Prefer riled for Rizzo and says Gleyber Torres is killing the ball. 9 home runs.
Wow. Riled for Rizzo, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's funny how he's riled for Rizzo, but Mike doesn't really like Rizzo.
Yeah. Yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Very, very interesting. Huh. Almost suspicious in a way.
You're very suspicious.
So a situation to monitor. Boy, I really want to see Florial get a shot. I mean, I don't want it to be at the expense of Jake Bowers, because big game last night, lefty swing, but I do want him up there, and it's just like we can figure out something. Like even if we have to sacrifice Ryan Weber for the 40-man roster spot, I want to see him get a shot.
Yeah, no, yeah, I love that.
So we'll definitely have to see what happens, but like Matthew said, you feel really good right now. You feel like the pieces are in place, and you're really excited that you're getting a lot back. That's a nice part. I know obviously you want to win the division, you want to avoid a wild card series. You still have a lot of work to do there. But I honestly, I know, with the Yankees, of course, I'm gonna toot their horn a lot, but compared to that stretch that they were coming in, are you surprised how quick somewhat the turnaround has been, or is it kind of what you expected?
No, it's really what I expected. I mean, we knew about the talent, like we saw some of it showcased, but yeah, they were in like a little bit of a lull in terms of offense. And again, I feel like, all the other pieces, I mean, your starting pitchers for the most part were there. You knew you were getting, some people back from injury too. Like, I think it was only a matter of time. And yeah.
And then one last thing to just close this out for baseball, before we touch NHL, NBA quick, is with the Mets. Let's say, another month goes by, they're still around 500. And I'm sure they're going to try anyway, but you think there'll be a extra strong push to trade for Ohtani?
Oh, yeah.
And
absolutely.
Are you nervous at the thought of who's going to get traded, or is it everybody can get traded besides Alvarez?
I would really hate to see Beatty go.
Yeah, but Vientos and Mauricio. I mean, that's the minimum.
I know that's really the minimum. Yeah. I don't mind Vientos right now.
You would sacrifice Beatty over Alvarez, I'm guessing.
Yeah, no, definitely. If I had to come down to that, yeah, dude,
he's
too good. He's too good
at that position.
I know Mauricio is tough too. He hasn't even had a shot.
What about McNeil in the deal as well?
See, this is what I hate about this, dude.
But then it's 10-year extension.
Yeah, guaranteed 10-year extension.
But you had to give up Beatty, Vientos, and
Carrasco.
Vientos and McNeil, but 10-year extension for Ohtani.
So Beatty, Vientos, Mauricio, McNeil,
Yeah,
Ohtani,
10-year
10-year
extension.
extension.
$500 million, literally.
I guess, dude.
Just because then you don't have to like sweat it out this offseason.
Yeah, but then it's like you're fucked because who's your third baseman? Who's your second baseman? You would have to bring up
Donaldson.
Yeah. Honestly, you still don't have still don't have good outfielders.
Florial.
Yeah,
Andujar. No, but you could trade for Blackman. I honestly think that's realistic.
yes, you could get Blackman. That's realistic, but like again,
It's a tough call.
so tough, dude.
But I still think the fact of just getting Ohtani, once you get him, you're gonna be like, all right, whatever, we're good. Like, no, because then you have Ohtani, Alonso, Alvarez, the meteor order with Lindor. I mean, that's like we talk about 5s, 6s.
yeah,
That's a pretty good meat of the order there.
no, yeah, you're right. But there's still so many questions.
Yeah. But I do think that's a realistic package, and they still might want more.
They probably will, and you're giving up basically all your youth besides Alvarez, and then one of your best hitters. So I mean, that's crazy, dude. They probably would want to get a pitcher thrown in there.
Peterson.
I'd give him Peterson. I'd give him. Yeah, gosh, dude. And that sucks because then it's like think about like moving forward with the team. I mean, like Scherzer and Verlander are still question marks.
Would you throw in Senga?
Well, I guess there can't be two Japanese pitchers in the
you'd have
same
to go
fucking
to-
team. So
Would you be that tight about Senga?
I mean, kind of.
And
Kind of.
what do you think about what Buffer says? Almost $1 billion for Ohtani with the luxury tax, and the Mets are cursed.
Total cost of Ohtani $1 billion. That's ridiculous. Mets are cursed. We remember Mo Vaughn and Roberto Alomar. I mean, it certainly seems like it, dude. I think this is probably one of the first years, like in a really long time, where I really thought, like, wow, man, the Mets could really go like to the World Series.
Yeah.
Now they're not.
Wow, Tony. I hate seeing you this beat down.
Dude, it's just so tough, dude. It's
Come
been, I mean,
on,
again,
Tony.
like every other year recently, there has been one of these off seasons where I'm like, wow, like this is looking good.
Because
Like,
the youth,
the
talent level,
we
that's
can
the problem.
we start all the youthful players. Maybe we'll need an extra bat, maybe one extra bat, you know?
Listen, I think another pitcher, another reliever, and Charlie Blackmon, I think is enough with all the young guys playing. Is enough.
Yeah. No, I think I totally agree. Bring up Mauricio, I think, is going to be pretty key too soon. And also, we do have, I forget the kid's name, but we have some pitching prospect who's like, I don't know, maybe 22, who's been doing really well, actually. I don't think it's Alex Ramirez. Top prospects, photos.
Alex Ramirez, outfielder?
No, a pitcher, I'm saying.
Blake Tidewell? Blade Tidewell?
Blade Tidewell? I don't. Oh, yeah,
Cyclones?
this is him. Yeah, this is him. 21 years old, dude, has been killing it for the Cyclones in the minor league, dude.
What if he's added to the deal as well?
For Ohtani?
With Senga.
I wouldn't like that, dude. I'm saying like we should bring up this guy. I feel like like McGill doesn't deserve a spot. Like Carrasco does not deserve a spot. Like throw him in the bullpen. Our bullpen guys are not doing well right now. Like Leon, why is Leon? He's fucking like he came over from Texas. He's like 32 years old. He sucks.
Mm-hmm.
Why is he in the bullpen? Like
I'm telling you though, Tony, I think it's at least 5 prospects. Varying levels plus major league guys.
Mike Vossel. That's the guy. That's the guy. Yeah, this dude.
That could be your guy.
This might be our guy.
A lot of strikeouts. 48 and 41 innings. Not bad.
Not bad, dude.
23 years old. Youthful. So, I mean, there's some hope here, Tony. If we could the pieces just have to be put together the right way.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
So a couple things here before we get ready for screen time over here. I don't think we need to put too much emphasis on the hockey game last night. I mean, it was just a blowout.
Yeah.
6-0. But let's just let's just go quickly though. The world of the National Hockey League.
Here's Matthews. Scores! Hat-trick goal!
My goodness, this is a great shot. Big hit on the far side by McCarr. He flattens Jordan's skull. Oh my goodness! That's the top right back. Terrifying and robbed by Shesterkin. That's brilliant from Igor Shesterkin. It's a breakaway to win it in overtime. McDavid scores the winner in overtime.
Memorial Day, very kind to the Golden Knights last night. 6-0 to advance to their second ever Stanley Cup final. Aiden Hill, another shutout.
Second.
Carlson, not Eric.
2 goals.
William. 2 goals and an assist. Carrier with a goal and assist. 3 goals in the first, 1 in the second, 2 in the third. A dominant performance. After I'm sure their palms were a little sweaty. 3-0 lead. You lose 2 in a row. But I knew they were going to close it out. They closed it out on the road, setting up for an exciting series with the Florida Panthers. And I was saying this to you, I think, before the show, with the Knights. I mean, I think at this point, almost they're underrated just because of what the Panthers have accomplished. And I think it should be, I'm going to check the series price, which I'm going to want to guess on from you. But in my eyes, this series, series price, should be even for this Florida Panthers Vegas Knights series.
Yeah, I think so. No, it's tough. I would be surprised if Vegas ends up being a little favorited. I mean, look at this game, 6-0.
Come out yet? I want to look this up. It's got to be out. But
yeah,
anyway,
it's got to be out. I mean, this game for me, was over in the first period. I think by the first period it was 3-0. The Knights were just so dominant, and the Stars were just absolutely blowing it on defense.
Minus 130, plus 110, Vegas favored. Which is interesting. I thought Florida would be favored, no?
I mean, Vegas, again, they kind of are on paper like any other team that the Panthers faced. I mean, they are the better team. And with Aiden Hill, I mean, that goaltender, I think Bobrovsky, is a little bit more of a question mark than Hill is coming to the Cup final. But he'll get, some of these goals here. The first one from Carrier, I think, was just a simple give and go by Carrier. Enters the zone easily, passes it off the board, skates the middle of the ice, finds the puck. Dallas, again, that was the theme of the entire day, entire night, entire game for Vegas. They were attacking the middle of the ice, and Dallas had absolutely no answer for it. You saw it again with Carlson in the power play. He, again, shooting from the middle of the ice, close to Ottinger. Kolsar, getting his second postseason goal at the end of the first 2. Same deal, attacking the middle of the ice. They're down 3-0 Dallas, and there was just no sight of them coming back. Carlson, by the way, his 9th goal of the postseason, and he gets his 10th actually later on in the third too. So, and then Jonathan Marchessault gets his 9th of the postseason. I talked about Vegas spreading their wealth this postseason in terms of goals. One thing Dallas doesn't do is really spread their wealth in terms of goals. The other thing they don't really do is have their superstars show up. Their last 2 games, Jason Robertson has had points in their last 2 wins. He was showing up. I think he had 2 goals in one, 3 assists in the other. Obviously, this game, he doesn't show up. And I was saying that the entire series, Robertson needs to show up for games here. And then, of course, Aiden Hill stopping any chances that Dallas had, which were not a lot. And it was just the Knights just really skated their way to victory.
And that being said, Tony, we both think this is going to be a close series, but we'll have game 1 on Saturday, so a little time off here, and then I'll be in Las Vegas. Who's winning and how many games?
Oh, so tough, dude. 2 teams that haven't been to the postseason or the Cup final a lot. I think last time Florida was in 96, and of course we know Vegas inaugural season they went to it in 18. Haven't been back since, but so tough. I guess give me Vegas in 7.
Wow. I'm almost surprised in a way, but I guess not. I mean, you said, Aiden Hill and stuff, but I'm going to say Florida in 7. Vegas has been great, but Florida, man, I mean, it's Chuck or Kachuk. Oh,
I know.
Now the guy's gonna comment.
No one's.
again.
Yeah, imagine. No one's found an answer for him either yet, and it's so ridiculous this season.
Too.
I know he's been a hard goaltender to get past. It's gonna be quite the battle, dude.
Yeah.
I'm super pumped. First game's on Saturday, by the way, so it's we got some time.
Oh yeah.
But the storylines, develop and stuff. I just think Vegas though. Like so many players who have been on the team the entirety of its existence. I just think that they have more than just Kachuk to score.
Right.
And they play physical too. So I would be surprised if they're maybe one of the first teams that can kind of tame Kachuk a little bit.
Yeah.
That's gonna be your key, dude. I mean, Kachuk's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that'll be interesting. Before we hear what's on screen time, one thing I just want to mention, not that compelling. The Heat dominated the whole way.
Yeah.
103-84 over the Celtics, advancing to the finals. Eric Spoelstra is now second LeBron-less finals appearance with the Heat. Obviously, losing to LeBron in 2020, has another crack at a championship. The future Hall of Fame coach, 2 titles, has done a great job with the Heat. Grinding this game out last night, almost like a 90s style basketball game. And they advanced to the finals to face the Denver Nuggets, who obviously come in as favorites. Jimmy Butler had a great series, great game last night, 28 points. Cody Martin, guy you don't really think about, 26 and 10. But these guys, they've been on this team for a while. Adebayo, Duncan Robinson, Kyle Lowry. Those are all guys, key contributors. Miles Struss as well. Kevin Love, I think, will find his way back in this rotation. But of course, we know, Denver with the sweep of the Lakers. Obviously, everybody's impressed with them. What is your guess on the series price for this one? I gotta look it up again, but they'll tell me. But what's your guess here?
All right, who's favorited?
And it's obvious that Denver's favored, but
I would think by a lot. Like, yeah. Oh wow, dude, a lot. 275.
Well, -1.5, meaning like that they win like 4-2, is plus 500.
Oh shit.
Okay. And let's see here. So, plus 300 overall.
Wow,
Nuggets
dude.
minus 400. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think that they're maybe thinking too highly of Denver. I mean, honestly, when you really break it down, you think about it, like, what, Denver's had like a week off, right?
Yeah. 8.5-point favorites, game one.
Coming off game 1 is in Denver.
Game 1 is in Denver.
The altitude, the fatigue, dude. What up, Manny?
Heat or Nuggets, Manny? Wow.
Wow, he's going Heat. I know it's so tough, dude. You would really love to see Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler honestly win it.
Right.
I also would like to see, I guess, Denver win it too. But I think, I don't know, going with my gut, I'm gonna say Denver.
Yeah, in
6.
And then Jokic MVP or Murray MVP?
No, I think it's gonna be Jokic.
Yeah. This is so tough. Everything screams Denver. That's why I want to take the Heat.
I know.
I'm gonna say Heat in 7. And it's going to be Butler Finals MVP.
I like it.
So should be compelling. Honestly, I might actually have to watch a couple of these games.
Yeah, I think so too. Maybe this weekend, dude.
And I am riled for screen time. And it's funny, you're gonna be almost impressed with me on this. I saw your list, and I have to say, or do you want to? I wanted to just make a comment on one of the movies for today.
Yeah.
Or I'll let you introduce it, and then I'll say what I was gonna say. So tell us what we're gonna see on screen time.
Okay, so screen time is gonna have we've got an episode.
We're almost gonna go right into it.
Yeah, literally, it's gonna be right in maybe 12:15.
Yeah.
I gotta go to the bathroom, whatever, dude. You don't want to hear about that. But yeah. So Manny and I in studio, White House Plumbers. Episode 5 came out last night. Watching that, our watch list came out yesterday as well.
Just that episode
for White House Plumbers. Yay, definitely,
very,
dude. Yeah, very.
Okay.
Love it, dude. History is great. Nixon,
yeah,
love it, dude. But yeah, watch list. I got Blow, X-Men 2, and this Smokehouse Netflix show. It's really good, like American Barbecue Showdown.
And I was gonna say, because you know me, don't like movies, all that stuff. Blow, I haven't seen it in a while. Amazing, Tony. One of the best movies I've ever seen.
Wow, dude. Yeah, man. He's like, wow, dude. That's such a dude. That's a real guy. Like, how fucking crazy is that?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
man,
it's just so compelling.
Yeah.
So at the edge of your seat. It's just crazy. And I know, we always say the older movies are great.
Yeah.
But the fact that it was made in 01
mm-hmm.
and it's like can go toe-to-toe with any movie
Yeah.
that's been made for the past 20 years.
Yeah, it's timeless.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good.
So that's a great one if anybody hasn't watched it. And
Yeah,
if anybody
dude.
hasn't caught Screen Time before, I highly recommend checking that out. Tony's estimating with the bathroom break about 12:15 from the get-go. So definitely check that out. But other than that, Tony, anything you wanted to mention here on the way out?
I don't think so, dude. No.
Yeah. What a show.
What a life.
A lot of baseball talk.
Oh, yeah,
which we
baby.
like, and I hope in the coming weeks we continue to see just a little bit rise of the spirits out of you, Tony, with the Mets.
Yeah, I hope so, dude.
I think you're gonna get there. I think it's just gonna take time. We've seen crazier things happen before. Think of the Nationals 2019. But that being said, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in today, continuing to comment, like, and subscribe. All of the archives on the YouTube page. Tony, Michael, Renee in costume, all the episodes of Sportsport, The Dream is Free, Screen Time, Gaming Corner, all of our vlogs, the Mighty Morphin Power Plumbers. If you haven't caught that one, you definitely want to check that
great
out.
one.
As well as Spring is in the Air, Jimmy Nance, the
Nice.
merch, downtimetv.com. Definitely check that out. We want everybody to enjoy their day. Enjoy Screen Time. Let's go Yankees for Tony's sake.
Let's go Mets, baby.
And we will see you.
Mañana.
Hey guys, Tony here from Downtime TV checking in. I want to thank all our fans out there who's been liking, subscribing, sharing our content. You guys are the best. You guys are our bloodline. You make us love what we do. Thanks again.